I want to share with you the 3 stupidest things that real estate agents are taught all day long by the big gurus on stage about how to sell in 2024. Unfortunately, a lot of these agents haven't sold ever, and they're completely out of the sales cycle, which means they're creating content, they're creating courses, they're creating scripts, they're creating programs. They're not even part of their sales team anymore. And the challenge with that is that you're so far removed. It's like the politician that lives in Washington, D.C., but forgets about what it's like living in their city. The challenge here is that when you're not in sales, and I am every day in sales, I am on the phone, I am in my DMs, I am messaging you, I am on the phone calls with you, I am training my sales team, and I'm training agents, and I'm also helping them negotiate deals. The challenge with somebody who's too far removed is they don't know what you're going through. The reality is that a lot of them unfortunately trigger what we call sales resistance. And that sales resistance is why you get ghosted. It's why you get a ton of objections. It's why one of my favorite clients said when he first started working with me, Vic, I hate Tuesdays. Why do you hate Tuesdays, bro? Because every Tuesday was what the prospect used to say to me before I learned these 3 things. What do you mean by every Tuesday, the prospect? He says, I'd go to a listing presentation and they would always say, well, get back to you, buddy, on Tuesday. And Tuesday would come around at 10 o'clock because they said they were going to call. So at 9:50, I'm like, kid, nobody on the phone. But Dad, there's a cell phone. It doesn't matter. You could ruin the signal. 10 o'clock rolls around and they don't call. Oh, it's still got battery. Let me check it again. 10:01, 10:02, 10:03, 10:15, they haven't called. 10:20, they haven't called. You start to get the sweats. Have you ever had those sweats? They're not the meat sweat, all right? They're not the meat sweat. They're the sweats of, oh my gosh, are they going to use me or not? I need to pay my mortgage. I need to pay rent. What am I going to do? I don't have a pipeline full. I don't have anybody to call. Wrong. You have a ton of people to call. We'll discuss that. That's one of the myths. I don't know where my next deal is going to come from. 10:30 comes around. You should be prospecting from 10 to 10:30, right? Because if they call and they want to work with you, guess what? They're going to work with you regardless, right? They're going to leave a message. Hey, Vikram, it's just Bob over here. Hey, we decided that we wanted to get started with you. Give us a call back when you have a moment. We're super excited to get the process rolling. That's what somebody who wants to work with you is going to do. They're going to call you at 9:30 because they're excited to get started. But 10 o'clock rolls around, 10:15 rolls around, 10:30 rolls around. And one of the things that one of my buddies, he's hilarious, right? We became friends now. He's hilarious. He said, Vic, used to hate Tuesdays. I said, now what do you think about Tuesdays? Because Tuesdays don't bug me anymore. I said, why? Because now I learned how to get the prospect to commit, right? We don't close people. In the Real Estate Sales Academy, we don't close people. We get people to commit to working with us, commit to the next step, commit to another appointment, commit to go looking at houses, commit to an appointment. We don't close. I hate the word close. Like, you guys, I always think about my mom, right? Going to be 70 years old this year. I always think about moms, right? Do I want moms to be closed by some salesperson that learned all the closing techniques in the world? Of course not. I want moms to be guided through the process, right? Hats off to moms, right? I teach our clients to love and connect from the heart. All right. So the first myth is that when you call somebody, you have to be super professional. This is one of the things that my clients love about what we train on, right? We've trained hundreds of agents. No, we're not 20,000 agents trained. I know. I've only been doing this for a year, 2 to 3 months officially, maybe 4 by now. We're not thousands of agents trained, right? It's just truth. But I've worked with thousands of agents in my life. I've sold hundreds of millions of dollars. We've worked with thousands. We've talked with thousands of agents. We've been in the training rooms where there's 500 agents and they're all doing karate chops and ninja shit. I'm like, what the hell's going on over here? Lose an eyeball in these places. It's crazy. And everybody's reading their script and they're all saying every line perfectly. And they sound amazing if they're giving a TED Talk. But when you in 2024 are super professional and you're super scripted and you say, "Hi, Mrs. Jones, how you doing today? The reason I'm calling is because I see your home at 123 Banana Street. It's no longer on the market. I just want to let you know that I'm a neighborhood expert. And it's my job to know about all the property in the neighborhood." And you sound scripted and you sound like you memorized that script, A+ for that. But here's what the prospect hears. One, you lied, because if you're a neighborhood expert, you already know about the house. You should tell them why the house didn't sell. "Hey, Mrs. Jones, I'm the neighborhood expert. Would you be okay if I shared with you the 3 reasons why I feel your home didn't sell in today's market?" Change your script, y'all. If you want to use the same script that's been around for 40 years, that's fine. Change one line. You don't want to sound scripted and professional. You want to sound like a human being. Here's how you would do it. Let's just go back to that same script. If you've ever called an expired, you've learned this script before. Whether you're using Vulcan 7 or Red X or Mojo, they all teach the same thing. It's just the regurgitation from 40 years ago. Here's how you would use it. Ring, ring. Mrs. Jones picks up. Now, she's not happy because her freaking house didn't sell. She needed to move to Kansas to be closer to her daughter, and her house didn't sell. And you're super peppy and excited. Ludacris, right? That's Ludacris. Not the rapper that we all grew up with in Fast and Furious. It's Ludacris because psychology tells us that that person's probably unhappy. Because wouldn't you be unhappy? So when the guru tells you to sound scripted, right, and be excited and be professional, you're actually pissing off the person. How do I know? I've sold over $150 million in expired listings. And we trained 3 inside ISAs how to call an expired and book us appointments after I figured it out. Because I didn't have an SOI in Seattle. I didn't grow up in Seattle. I grew up in Bakersfield. I lived in the back of a cell phone store for a year and a half while I was getting my MBA because I was so poor and I didn't have enough money to travel while doing school, running a business, visiting the fiance, saving for the wedding, saving for the ring, saving for like the apartment that she was going to want to live in, right? So I was so poor, saving money, that I just decided to live in the back of a cell phone store for a year in Lancaster, California, drug capital of the world. All right. So we had to learn what to do because we didn't have 1,000 friends that we could call. My God, if I sold in Bakersfield, it'd be so easy. Wouldn't you have the expired listing? Here's what you do. Ring, ring, curious tone. Hey, is this Andy? Andy's going to say yes. Hey, Andy, it's just Vikram Deol here. And it looks like your house might have, I don't know, like, I'm not sure if the results are right, but it looked like the home might have come off the market. Yeah, we decided that we weren't going to sell it anymore. Or, our other agent was stupid and sucked and we hope he gets hit by a truck. He never did anything. Or, whoa, how come he opened up why did Andy open up to me on this call when normally people scream at me? Because your tonality created curiosity. It created safety. Hey, I am actually a neighborhood expert and I've been studying your home. I actually previewed it a few times for some clients of mine. Oh, really? Yeah. And I just had like 3 quick things that I feel might have caused it not to sell because I mean, between you and I and like off the record, your home seemed like you guys took pretty good care of it. Oh my God. Yeah. We love our home. Like we don't want to move. We just ran out of space. What were those 3 things that you think made my home not sell? Well, yeah, I could totally share those with you. I guess just real quick so I can update my records. Were you guys still thinking about selling you already know because she asked. You already know they want to sell the home. So do you see how right there, your tone of curiosity, your tone of empathy, your tone automatically shifts the conversation and then shifting a couple of sentences around, right? Instead of saying you're the neighborhood, you had like 5 words to that sentence. All of a sudden, bam, you are in like Flint, but don't lie because lying is bad. All right. Lying is bad. You don't have a buyer. Don't say you have a buyer. That's wrong. That's bad. So number 1, you've been told to be professional. Hunkadory BS, y'all. You're talking to Mr. and Mrs. Jones. You're not talking to a CEO in a boardroom. Totally different. Lie number 2. You were told to have an exhausting presentation built. Now, I have a presentation, right? It's 10 pages long. Inside of the presentation, I have supporting material. So inside of the presentation, We have supporting material that we can pull out to share with the prospect to allow us to show, flow, or demo what we do inside of a listing or what we do with our buyers inside of a transaction. I do not want to bore the shit out of my prospects with a 45-page slide deck with 13 of the pages I talk about my company, how long I've been in business, how many houses I've sold, how big my company is, how great my team is, a big picture of us. Hi, they can see you. You're in real life. It's boring, y'all. Your presentation should be there to support the questions you ask, to connect with the prospect emotionally, help them see the gap in either their thinking, their processes, or in what they've done or are going to do. Show them the proof that you actually can do the things that you say you do. Help you with a calendar to create a timeline, because buying and selling real estate could take anywhere from 30 days to 3 years, depending on the lead source, right? If it's a Google pay-per-click, it's 18 to 24 months. If it's one of these seller companies that do these seller leads, these people are looking for evaluation because they want to start thinking about the next step. They are very rarely, 10 to 15% of the time, only they're ready to sell their home when you call them. Most people are like, oh, that's cool. I'm scrolling on Facebook. Oh, free valuation of my home. That's cool. I would love to know what my home's worth. Agent calls them, super scripted. Hey, I saw you're ready to sell your home. When can I come over and sign the listing agreement? What? I don't even know what you're talking about. Myth number 3 is that it's a leads game. It's wrong. You have it wrong. You should never buy a lead. Cosmetology school is 1,400 hours and it takes 14 months of education. Before you're allowed to touch a human being, hundreds of hours of classwork and wig work. It could cost you up to $25,000 to become a cosmetologist. And the average cosmetologist in the United States of America makes the same amount of money as a McDonald's worker does. In order to become a cosmetologist, you need to be educated here. You get paid here as a McDonald's worker. And yet you've gone through more school. You've spent more money. You've racked up more debt than almost any other professional industry out there. And yet to become a real estate agent where you have uncapped earnings, you can help people with their biggest financial decision. You think that the way it works is that you're going to buy some lead, they're going to give you a contract, they're going to get you a paycheck, and then they're going to send you referrals. You guys, it's totally backwards. You should pay for some skills. You should go out and work your face off and do open houses, door knocking, cold call. If you don't like doing that, then maybe real estate's not for you. And that's okay, but that's what it takes to be a salesperson. You acquire the skills, you do the hard work. If you can't convert an open house human being that's face to face in front of you into an appointment, and you tell me on the phone, hey, Vic, we just need more leads, but we're not our only problem is that we don't have the ability to convert on the phone. Oh, cool. Why don't you just go do a more open? Oh, we don't like to do open houses. I love open houses. Why? Because we crushed open houses. We had a system and a process. We booked appointments out of there. We got sellers out of there, right? We double-ended listings because of our open houses. If you can't convert an open house lead, how do you convert an online lead, which is 72,000 times harder? If you can't convert a door knock, how are you going to pay for leads and convert those? You guys, the industry lies to you because they know that buying leads is a never-ending game. Paying a few grand for skills and acquiring those skills for the rest of your life and having the confidence to walk into any presentation and know that you're going to crush it and you're confident is worth billions of dollars. Yet the industry propaganda machines tell you, you need leads, you need leads, you need leads, because all of the big gurus are embedded with the lead generation company. So when you go and buy leads, they get paid. And when you have to buy their crappy training, they get paid again. So they're just making double money off of you. If you can't convert open houses, if you can't convert your sphere of influence, if you can't convert expireds, right? If you can't find people through your Instagram and Facebook, if you can't find people through doing free activities because it's hard work, you're not going to have the skills to convert the real work, which is online paid lead. All right, you guys. So those are the 3 myths that are going to hold you back in 2024. Drop a comment below. Right? Do me a favor. What's your favorite myth that you've been told and that you might need to retool and rethink about? If you want some help, right? Because you don't have to go at this alone. If you want some help, if you made it this far, congratulations. You are a champion. You are different. If you're tired of going at it alone, if you're tired of getting sales resistance, if you're tired of the same scripts, if you're tired of the same karate chops, knee chop, like walking into a conference room and you're like, what the hell am I going to get killed in here? And you want to learn why we should say what we say. You want to learn the tonality, right? Training's not something we did. Training's something we do. We don't stop training ever, right? When you stop training, somebody else bypasses you. It might take them 6 months. It might take a year and a half. You might be really good, but they're going to bypass you. And you're going to scratch your head one day and be like, well, I used to be a top agent. In 2021, I did 15 deals. 2022, I did 12. Oh, that's interesting. 2023, I did 8. Well, I'm just going to blame the market and the leads. It's not the market or the leads because there was other people doing the deals. It just wasn't you. Well, the market dropped 40%. Yeah, but your business dropped 80%. You can create the logic pie chart. You can create the triangle. You could try to logic your way out of it. But at the end of the day, the logic doesn't put money in your bank account. Training is something we do. It's not something we did. Michael Jordan trained every day harder than everybody else, which is why he made more money than everybody else, why he won more games than everybody else. He also had more losses than everybody else. I know what works in 2024 because in 2021, I was $700,000 in debt because of a new business that my dad and I opened. Well, guess what? COVID hit. So we had a ton of business opportunity. We had a ton of business debt. We had no customers because nobody was leaving their house. And when you run a physical wellness center that the state shut down, it's hard to make income. I had to learn what to do and say to bring those people back into our center when they were freaked out. We had to learn psychology so that we could help people get healthy so that they didn't have to worry about getting sick. We had to learn how to sell in a state where there was nobody doing any activity in our type of business. I got into real estate in 2011. 2010. Y'all remember those days? You probably don't because you got in at 2016, 17, 18. You got in at up years. I got in when the market was still going down. And I got in on hard money loans on flipped houses, which means I had to learn how to sell my own properties. Otherwise, I was going to be living on the street. I share this with you because if you're not always improving, you're going to get left behind. So down below, there's a link, the Real Estate Sales Academy. Click the link, book in a strategy session, a virtual tour of what we do with myself, because I am in the trenches with you. And let's see if we can find some hidden gaps in your business. Maybe what you're saying, maybe not what you're not asking, maybe your tonality, right? Maybe we have to unteach some things that you learned. That's okay. Book in a virtual demo. Let's jam, and I'll see you on the other side.